Okay, so we're going to talk about multiplying a polynomial by a monomial. So you probably remember this as distribution. We want to multiply everything in the polynomial by the monomial in front of the parentheses. So let's take a look at example number 1. We're going to take this 2x squared times y, and we're going to distribute that to each of the terms inside the parentheses. So when I multiply the monomial outside by 4x to the 4th, I get 8 x to the 6th y. So 8 comes from 2 times 4. X comes from the 2 plus the 4. And then the y, there's no other y's to add. Next part, I go 2. Well, there's just a 1 there, so that's going to be 2. X's, there's 3. Y's, 4. Again, with the 7y. I've got 2 times 7, which is 14. I've got x squared, and then it's going to be y squared. Now, you can pause the video and try this next problem on your own. Okay, so same as the first one, we're just going to distribute that 3a. So I'm going to go 2 times 3, which is 6. Then a to the 5th, because there's 5 a's. Then 3 times 5, which is 15. And then a to the 3rd. And then I go 3 times negative 10, which is negative 30. And then just 1a. Alright, that takes care of those two problems. Let's look at a few more. Now we've got these two sets of parentheses, and when we're looking at this, we've got this 6 times this and this 2 times this, so we're going to have to multiply each set of parentheses and then combine like terms. So we're going to go 12x squared plus 30x, because I'm just going 6 times 5. Then I got negative 10x squared minus 22x. Next, I'm going to look for like terms. So I've got 30x, negative 22x, and then I've got 12x squared and negative 10x squared. So when I combine the x squareds, I get 2. When I combine the x's, I get... Hold on a second. Okay, then we combine the x's and we've got minus 12. Well, not minus 12, that's right. It's going to be minus 8. X. Okay. Now for the next one. You try this one on your own and then unpause the video and I'll go over that. Okay. So again, I'm going to take this 3a and I'm going to multiply it by each term inside. So I'm going to get 15a cubed plus 21a squared. Then do the same thing with a negative 8. So I'm going to have minus 16a cubed minus 16a squared. Combine like terms. So I'm looking for anything that has a cubed to pair together and a squared. So then I've got 15a cubed minus 16a cubed, so that's negative a cubed. And then the next one, we've got 5, positive this time, a squared. Okay. Okay, if there's an equal sign. So here's where we're going to start solving. So what we need to do is we need to look at the problem, simplify each side, and then start using our solving skills. I'm going to take that 2 and I'm going to multiply it by the 3x. So I'm going to get 6x plus 14 minus x. On the right-hand side of the equal sign, I'm going to get 4x plus 12. Okay. I'm going to combine like terms on the left-hand side. I've got 6x minus x, which is 5x. I'm going to rewrite the rest of the problem. And then I'm going to go through and solve, just like I would normally. So I'm going to go and take the, let's say, I'm going to take the 4x and bring it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 4x from the 5x. So I'm going to get x plus 14 equals 12. Then I'm going to subtract 12 from each side, or subtract 14 from 12 from each side. So now I'm going to get x equals negative 2. Okay. Next. this one looks a little tedious, but we're going to go step by step. So we're going to go the y times the y and the negative 12. So I got y squared minus 12y. Then I'm going to go plus y squared plus 2y plus 25. Okay. On the other side, I'm going to get 2y squared plus 10y minus 15. Okay. I'm going to combine like terms on the left-hand side. So I got 2y squared. Then I got negative 12y and positive 2, so that's minus 10y plus 25. Okay. And then I've got 2y plus 10y minus 15 on the other side. So first thing I notice is that you see how there is a 2y squared on each side? If I subtract 2y from 2y, that cancels out. Okay, so that's good. Next thing I got to do is I've got to rewrite this problem. So I've got negative 10y plus 25 equals 10y minus 15. So I'm going to take this negative 10y, I'm going to add it to each side. So I got 25 equals 20y minus 15. I'm going to add 15 to each side. And then I'm going to get 40 equals 20y. And then I'm going to divide each side by 20. And I got y equals 2. So even though it started off as a pretty lengthy problem, once we started combining like terms and then also solving and kind of just moving our terms around on either side of the equal sign, it became a pretty reasonable problem. So last, we need to figure out what their mistakes were. So take a minute and just pause this video and see if you can find the mistakes that Jack and Jill made. Alright, so they both started off pretty good by just copying the problem down again. The next thing that they did is they took that subtraction and distributed it to each of those terms in the second set of parentheses. So they're saying they're going to add now negative 2a, which makes sense, and then minus 5b. So that's okay. And then over on this other side, we look at Jill's, and Jill did the same thing with the negative 2. But when she got to this 5b, she didn't change her sign. So that's where her mistake was. So now we have to figure out, is Jack correct? So if we were to take his second step and combine like terms, okay, negative 5a plus negative 2a is going to give us negative 7, so that checks out. And 6b plus negative 5b will give us positive 1. So Jack was correct, and Jill made the error of not distributing that negative sign.